Yeah, I didn't think it was going to come on then. I always have minor technical problems, always, almost always. Never mind, it's on now. So this video is just brief. I was going to quote, more or less just going to quote Caitlin Johnston on an Empire Simp, one of my favourite topics. She's clearly comes across in what I quote in a minute as doing a rebalancing of the culture, political culture. And I put in the title of this video, Young Style. Now, that's no exaggeration because Young gave examples of how nations, people always agree with their own nations on these foreign policy conflicts. So while Young wasn't known for getting involved in politics, he did give this example. I don't have the reference to the collected works, paragraph, title of the book, whatever. So I admit you've got to just take my word for that. But I mean, I think he went to any online Jungian community and asked them about that, they'd know about it. You know, it's common. It's common knowledge. Did he say it in Memories, Dreams, Reflections? I'm not sure. But anyway, so I'll just quote Caitlin Johnston. Before I do, I want to say that she goes on about how she's rebalancing this stuff about the US and Russia and how, you know, I mean, she's going to speak for herself in a minute, so I won't say much more than that. But one thing, a 9 out of 10 agree with her. The one little thing I would say to her though is that if you just pointed out that you do understand Putin's a psychopath every now and then, just point it out, then you could always reference back to that, because then that shuts up the accusations that you're a Putin puppet or you know, all this stuff that you're pro Russia, whatever, which is in 99% of cases, I know, and it's definitely in Caitlin Johnston's case, absolute garbage on stilts. He's a pacifist, right? Putin is not a pacifist. It's impossible to be on Putin's side. The people who are closer to Putin are accusers, because most of them probably are pacifists. See what I mean? She's a pacifist. It's like you can't be on Putin's side if you are not a warmonger, if you disagree with invading countries, if you disagree with extreme violence, if you're not authoritarian, if you want to decentralize. You see what I mean? It's all absolute mountains of garbage. But if she she understands that if she gets into this, then it deflects. So I'm going to quote her now because I've said enough there. Here we go. Just a sec. Empire simps are always telling me I need to criticize Putin like I criticized the Western powers who provoked the war in Ukraine. But when I ask them what actual material benefit would be provided by me saying the same things about Ukraine that all the most powerful and influential institutions in the Western world are already saying at maximum amplification, they've never once been able to give me a real answer. All they ever do at that point in the conversation is start babbling about my image. She highlights the word image and how it makes me look to only criticize one side, how it would show everyone that I'm not a secret agent working for the Kremlin. They suddenly start pretending they are my PR agent who is urgently concerned about making sure everyone sees me as highly impartial commentator on world affairs. It's happened over and over and over again in conversation after conversation. They're unable to think of a single positive benefit I could bring to the world by saying the same things about Ukraine that any Westerner can hear by simply switching on the nearest television to any channel and waiting a few seconds. So they start pretending to be urgently concerned about my public appearance, as though all they if ever wanted is for more people to find my Caitlin Johnston's arguments credible. They work their way into this ridiculous and self-evidently false position every single time without fail, because they know there is no actual concrete benefit to criticising a government that is already criticised constantly, 24/7, 365 days a year by all the most powerful institutions in the Western world. The only thing that does provide a benefit is giving voice to criticisms which don't get nearly enough of a platform in the West against the most dangerous impulses of the most powerful and destructive power structure on this planet. That's something that can actually help forge a path to real change. So what she's saying there is that there's more benefit to criticising the West, while if you just criticise Putin, just a drop in the ocean, and there's just no actual benefit. And she's criticising those who pretend that there would be some benefit. They're pretending they just want your image to be like this, and trying to mould her. But she's saying that what they're really wanting is just the Kremlin to be criticised more. But they don't say it. So they make this pretense thing up as if Caitlin must say. I think there's always a secret admiration for her there. They won't say that though, will they? They won't say that. But anyway, Caitlin says on the issue of this being a beneficial way to do it, of criticising the West and criticising the most destructive and the most powerful institutions on earth, whether it's military or news media, she says that her critics who want to improve their image, they don't want her to do that. She writes, but they don't want me to do that because they support that power structure. That's the real thing they're doing, she said. That's what they're really wanting. They're not wanting some rebalance. They're wanting she's wanting rebalancing. They're not wanting her to just criticise Putin once or twice. They're wanting her to criticise him 100% because they support the US military industrial complex and all of the US power games and all their warmongering. That's the truth. And she's trying to get to the truth. So she's rebalancing and she's telling the truth. What they really want, she says, is for me to shut up and stop criticising US foreign policy. But they can't admit this without looking like the pathetic bootlickers that they are. So they're forced to start cosplaying as my pro bono PR agents instead. It's true. I like the way she words it though. I mean, it's been like that since I started seeing her online. And the other thing is they call her communist all the time. And they call her, they call her all kinds of names, but like sometimes you come across as thinking like she wants to create some kind of massive communist state superstructure. I don't buy that either. She's for cooperation. I think what she wants to do is to decentralize everything so there's no propaganda, and then we are what we are. But yeah, she does take a lot of exaggerations onto her. I think because she's smart, very smart. I claim she's much smarter than me. I'm a mini Caitlin Johnstone. She's and therefore they don't feel confident challenging her, so they just talk bullshit. They just throw accusations at her instead, and like she words it better anyway. What she said there, that's good enough. Just play back what she says. But like I say, I think that even though she's right not to play their hands, like because they just wanted to shut up 100%. I said, just get one reference against Putin, what a psycho he is, and reference back to it all the time. And that would make it very difficult for them to know what to say then, because they don't challenge her on the content. And now she would have blocked this road to criticising her on being a Putin puppet. So they would have nowhere to go. They can't criticise her because they can't match her intellectually. And now they won't be able to accuse her of being a Putin puppet. I just think they would just go quiet. That's what I think would do. Anyway. if that load of people are Caitlin Johnston's pretend PR agents, then I'm one of her #1 fans. End the video. I wish there had been here to show you my dog. What could we do instead? Oh, I'll show the beautiful, beautiful pictures of one of my former dogs, Gwen. Now deceased, she lived at 8 inches of bloom now. Start dragging wires about here. Just be a sec. Just be a sec. There we go. So, bloom now. That's a paint color, obviously. But it is a perfect painting. I mean, it's really spot on. It's I can't tell the difference between that painting of Gwen and if it had been done by the world's greatest artist, because to me it just looks 100% perfect. It's not a, although you know you say it could be because of bias to a dog, ex-dog. It's not that. It's it really is perfect. You know what I mean? If it was an inanimate object and it had been painted to look exactly like the inanimate object, that's an amazing painting because like most of us can't do that. Obviously, my dog isn't an inanimate object. You know what I'm saying? It really is perfect. I've got a photograph of it. I'm not sure if it'll show up on this video. But if it does, we'll be able to see that it looks exactly the same. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah. I've obviously got a scarf found there now. Little, what do they call them? Around the socks. Around the paws. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's pictures of other blue whales who I've never seen and never met in my life. This is a very sweet end to a Caitlin Johnston video, isn't it? Considering the subject she usually goes on a very scary. I'm sure that's a fair enough way to put it. It's just that's on my calendar. I just think that's a particularly cute border collie, and this is Bean as a puppy. About approximately 2 years ago. Well, we might be watching this at some date that's later in the far future, so I'll say it is September 2023 now. So when I say 2 years ago, I mean it was something like, I guess it was August 2021 when we first got her. One of the first days we got her, yeah. So that's pretty precise. It will have been, and probably was August 2021. It's like hoping to make your video here a bit innocent at the end. She's very consistent at being on all the most important issues in the world. Now, my dogs are as important to me as anything in the world, I suppose, so I'm not going to fake apologise. Yeah, that's the end of the video. End stream.